Welcome to the NBC podcast. My name is Dietmar and I'm a host of the NBC podcast. Today I'm with Polen Cerci, who is an artist and a member of the Miami Business Club. And Polen, you hosted the Miami Business Club yesterday. How did it feel?
Oh my God, it was so amazing. So many beautiful people, beautiful souls. We had so much like fun, and the gallery was lit, and so many of my paintings around. It was such a good feeling to have all those people.
It was your first solo show. What was special about it?
It's almost like, progress. I started this whole thing like, a little bit slowly in the past. Like I'm an architect and I turned into an artist after I moved to Miami. I would never imagine in my life that it would come to this point where I'm having my solo show with these like beautiful, amazing people and people appreciate it. So it was like a dream come true, but at the same time I was so much in the moment that, like talking to people, I felt like home.
When people were looking at your artwork, did you notice anything about them, about, their thoughts, their feelings?
Yeah, like when people come and like look at the paintings, I see their gaze where it falls on the painting, like they pick a color or a texture and they take a step back, they come close. You can tell like who is interested in what kind of art and like what speaks to them.
Is there a certain message that you're trying to put out into the world?
Art is not separate from the artist. So the art, it just represents who the artist is. But I didn't get into this to give a message, but I'm discovering myself, what was hidden in me, and what is reflected on my paintings and my sculptures. Also, like, talking about the conscious and the subconscious, uh, that's what I see most in my art. Both of us can look at the same painting and you feel like this is like, the mess of colors. The other person sees like this is the soul like re-emerging or a birth of a dream or a creation of a soul or, it's just colors. So the message is like what the person wants to, get, but also what I am is there. So I feel like we all have like a connection.
How do you access that subconscious part of your feelings?
Actually, I don't really like have a technique or a method. I think the art is a good vessel. I believe everything is like coded in the body. Like you have so much knowledge in the body, and when I just walk in, I just like even if I'm inspired or not, if I'm having a happy day or not, like I just like go in there and start moving the body and like maybe start with like one stroke or wait for 4 hours and then I'm like I'm not doing anything. Then as I go out, I'm like maybe I'll just like put this so it dries by tomorrow. Then I'm in for another 8 hours, and it's just like it comes, like, from your, like, body. It's always there, like, it's always there.
Is there a certain, what you said, like mood or, that gets you into it and like, oh, not, I feel it. I'm ready. Or
Um, yeah, like, sometimes I have the energy, like, I just feel like, I had this idea, this one, I just saw this color in my dream last night. It's not just about inspiration, waiting for it. It's, boredom. Boredom has a lot of potential in it. uh, that's when your own mind, your subconscious, your very being says, I'm going to take in charge if I don't have the stimulation from outside. We have so much like in us that, when you're bored, there is a potential. That's what I feel sometimes. I come here if I'm bored, if even if I don't do anything, I just look and I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. And then I just wait and, wait for it to come out.
Poland, take us into your studio. You said you're painting on the floor.
When I first started this, it was out of curiosity. Like I just got curious, like, what if I paint? And then 2, 3 days later, I was painting in an artist studio. My first two paintings got stolen. The third one also stolen, kind of, let's put it that way. And then the fourth one got sold to a big millionaire, billionaire from Texas, and was published on French TV on 50 best mentions in Florida. And I was like, wow, that was cool. And but
That's on that.
thank you so much. When I paint on the floor, it was more about uh, forgetting and unlearning about like what people taught me, what the world teaches you a lot of how to be, what to do. I'm an architect by training, and I have like an MBA, MIS, and I just wanted in my life before I die, wanted to experience something different where I don't like do to fulfill anybody's expectations, because those voices like are in your head, like everything you read is in your head. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like get like, even if it doesn't make any sense, I'm gonna find the things that I like, and I'm gonna see what comes out of them. So I always loved the burlap, the jute, and the hemp materials, the golden fibers. It's got like so much history and story behind it. The Silk Road, people use that hemp. A single fiber of hemp is stronger than the same width of steel. So I put it on the floor and I started experimenting with it. It was literally experimenting, because when you put paint on a regular canvas, it repels. So you just put it, it's very nice, it's convenient, it stays there. So your shape, everything, the color, everything is done. You know how it's gonna look. But with hemp and jute, it's porous and it's fibers. So you put and you put and you put, and it's still like not showing anything. But meanwhile, it's absorbing into every single fiber, and the cell is getting that painting. And after like, quite a time, after maybe flipping 20 times, then you get to like a 2D sculpture state. But meanwhile, like, it's turned into my technique. It just goes on to the other side, and the top bit seeps through, paints the other side. So you see the dots, the leaking and everything, and then you flip, and I keep some part of it, I cover some part of it. And also, it requires like, because I work on big things, and that thing has to go inside. So I step on it with the sneakers I got from Germany 10 years ago, which are like my Adidas Stan Smiths. They were beautifully like, very nice off-white color with suede and everything. I never imagined they would turn into these like, sculptures with like, covered in paint. I started like walking on them, like, and like helping the paint, jumping, dancing on them, playing Twister. It was so good.
Just wondering how you bring that duality to life, or that someone who is viewing that is aware of that, or does it come through naturally?
The duality is like a little bit like the conscious and subconscious talking to each other. But subconscious is running the show, so it's always there. And it's like 98% of the time, it's like, we think we make decisions, but it's there, but we see its effects and we think that's our choice. So it's like, on both sides of the painting, it's kind of like the conscious, subconscious, but there's just a dance of them, like, and then you flip and you're like, oh, okay, I didn't know I created this, but it's a part of you. Just because you don't really notice or see it all the time doesn't mean it's not there. It's actually the whole thing is like your, subconscious. That's what's happening. Sometimes I also think of them as, dreaming and real life, like we go to sleep. What happens there? 8 hours of unconscious. You just sleep, and you just don't know what's happening.
Right.
And you wake up and you just kind of remember the dream a little bit when you wake up, if you're lucky. One part of your brain fabricates those imaginary world, let's say, or lies, or, it's just this colorful thing. And the other side of your brain at the same time believes in it. That's like I was flying yesterday in my dream. And to me, it's kind of like that, a little bit like we just think we know, but we don't. So that's what I like about, like, the duality of, like, it's not duality, it's like, so many, it's like maybe millions of layers there, millions of things, like creating one life, one stroke at a time, seeping through it at a time. Like, it just like creates this whole lace work of your life. And so for me, it's the painting is like that. Yeah.
I love how you described that, Poland. If I think about, you were an architect, very structured, right? The forms, the shapes, everything. And now your artwork is all about this organic part, energy, different layers. Was there that desire in you to express that? And you felt like with, in architecture, you couldn't express yourselves as you wanted to.
Architecture comes with a lot of heavy burdens, like please the municipality, the regulations, the permits, the expectation of the clients, the market, the size, the ergonomy, the anatomy of the human being, and everything. Art, and then you just want to make forms, and you just want to play with the light, you want to use this material, and they might just not have the budget, like to create all those things. And like uh, but with art, it's all those, like, the let's say, I don't want to use the word in case an architect listens, like practicing architect, the ugliness or the heaviness of architecture minus, the art, the process, it's just gives you art, like, just like get rid of it, and then it's like maybe the whole creative part. There's so many architects who are also painting.
When I look at your artwork, there's so many different colors, and I'm wondering, does Poland have a favorite color?
Oh, it's so hard to pick from. For all my life, I did not like green too much, but a certain type of green. I just realized, like, there's a place for it. I finished a new painting a couple of days ago, and I put so many colors, and I'm like, there's something missing that's gonna give this one a happy, nice, feeling, that's gonna make the other ones more legible. And I put like this bright, nice greens, which is right behind the golden butterfly. Um, but I also like a deep purple, but transparent purple. It's like watery, and but in my outfits, I usually like flame red and orange and yellow, happy colors. But of course, like everybody's favorite color is most of the time blue. So I like that one too. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Poland.
Thank you.
I'd love to do a little bit of a tour with you. And you talk just about your artwork.
These are my sculpture on canvas series. They are best explained with the philosophy of kintsugi, which is a Japanese philosophy of mending what's broken with gold. Um, it started with one of the emperors breaking its very precious china bowl, and then sends it to his, like, artisans, but they cannot glue it back to make it perfectly. It doesn't matter. Once it's broken, it's gone. It's no way to make it look just the same. So one of the master artists comes along and says, you know what? We're not going to hide the flaws. We're going to fill it with liquid gold, with something precious, with precious metals. So that forms, like, it turned into this kintsugi thing where you accept your imperfections, but highlight it, and it makes you you, because everybody has, like, imperfections in life. And I explain these with that, not to follow it or not just to be inspired, but I create these like male and female torsos, and I make them imperfect, but I say they all have their unique fingerprint on them. So this one is smooth. This is more baby colors. This one has like the like nice blue swirls and pink swirls. It's more like a nice state of like when you were like a little bit of a child. This one is Kimani. Kimani is the adventurer, the traveler from Africa, and she has a lot of like soul and courage to her. This is Mr. Blue. He comes from the depths of the oceans, or just lays down and like the reflections of water goes on him. At least for me, that's what it is. This is Miss Colorful Lullaby. She dreams in colors and she creates. She's in a dream world, but it's so strong at the same time. And this is like 24 karat gold on her. And like she has these like shibari also strings that bonds her to life. And this is Miss Ocean. For me, it's the water, but the happy, happy water. The colors are beautiful. It's like from the Bahamas, and you can see a little bit of like the corals or the happy parts of like being in the ocean. Me being an open water swimmer, I love everything that's like like the ocean, like capturing it. Mr. Soul and Mrs. Soul. This is also again like I use like gold leaves on the golden parts. These are just classic kintsugi. They're very minimalistic, and at the same time they're very like cozy in their own being, and they just have like these off-white milky white swirls on them. Lovers or Romeo and Juliet. So you see this is like a male torso. It has its own like imperfections, oxidated copper and zinc I use. But when you turn it back in the front again, which is my thing, like there's a lady here, and it's in the colors of the texture of the how you lived your life. There's like the pieces of it with blues and bronzes and golden combinations, which I really love. They live together. And this one is Golden Butterfly. This is one of the very first ones I made, which I just like want to keep it to myself. It's been a while that I just don't want it to let go. It's been exhibited everywhere. But this is Golden Butterfly. She has these wings and like the turquoises and the blues and everything with four cardinal direction in her lives that are like, she's not afraid of like showing herself and opening her like wings, but it's not like the human, of course, but it has got this beautiful like the kintsugi line that's, where she recreated her life from one chapter to the other, and it's just like coming out like slightly showing herself, but it's more about like how she feels life and how she flies through it or swims through it. Yeah. This is a very subtle one that I really, really love. It's like a golden, like in the back. This is more like everything was gold, then she came and sat on it. This is Metamorphosis, a Libra in the back. This is a collage I made, like, just having fun. I just recently finished this. It's like a coming together of like the gold and the ocean. It's like a sunrise and sunset for me, but they usually don't have meanings. But you're gonna see that these are like double-sided. There's another painting behind it. This one is from the limited series, as I was talking about, because it has the wooden pieces on them that I scraped from my previous studio. I had the most amazing like wooden floors that I turned into my art because, I paint on the floor and everything's there and I step on them. And you see these like little parts are all very tiny layers of gold, which I work with ink. And then even though like, I usually hide them instead of like making them stick out most of the time. But you feel it and you know that it's there. And when you turn the back, I have a color of like reds and greens, which the first layers of this side was also in those colors, but it seeped through the other side, so they painted each other. This one is cherry blossom tree. I usually work abstract, but I just wanted to give the feeling of it, and all these tears and like the uneven edges, like it just gives a shadow. It's a part of our like world. It's not like a glossy rectangular, like just a finished shiny painting. But on the other side, there is actually another one. This part is green and the other one is blue. A dance of two trees in an infinite form, in the infinity form. Like they just talk to each other. This is a blue one. I love this blue, how strong it is, and the other side, it's a dance of like the maps. To me, it's like a treasure map, but like intricate like colors and everything, and so much coming from this other side. This is a tiny small piece that I made. It's wood. Um, it's just like the pop of colors for me. This is like you asked me what was my favorite color, and pink was one of the colors that I didn't really like because it was girly. It was too happy. Like you can't be, you gotta be strong woman and everything. And pink is like the Barbie color. Then I thought, am I talking about a color? How can I have so much judgment about a color? And I said, then let's take the pink and let's start working with it. And I just started making pink, and it's such an amazing, beautiful color. It's a feeling. Pink is a feeling. It's a strong feeling. And in the past, actually, people think blue is for men and pink is for women. It was the opposite in the past because pink is derived from red, and red was the powerful color, the energy, and it was more associated with men. Blue was for more women because it was tranquil. So actually, pink is a lot like, more masculine color, if like, but for me, colors don't have any genders, but just I'm talking to the general, expectations in the society. But this is such a beautiful, like, colors and the blues, and it's wild and it's happy. This was like, sometimes I want to have fun. And this is I believe in luck. And luck, I believe, takes you further. Just an inch of luck in your life can take you just to miles. And luck is legal, good luck. This is made out of lottery tickets that I collected in Florida. Mega Millions or Powerball. I didn't really check them all, but there might be a millionaire tickets, jackpots living there. These are the top of my collection. Actually, this one. Uh, this totally represents an era when I was like starting to work with burlap in my previous studio. That's where I started, then I finished it here. It has the wooden pieces on them. It has that feeling when I started, just to make things a lot more soothing, and like with a lot of colors, um and the size is like really big. It's like you can feel that it's like a sculpture. And this whole, like, I was very happy to see that, that the whole transformation of the material burlap, like going here. So there's another painting on the other side, Book of Love. So it's like the binder here. And of course, there's another, like, painting in the back. So with this one, I want to show you something. This is an interior design thing that I am working with some interior designers. Just imagine if you put like a bigger light behind it. As I said, paint is not the only thing that seeps through. Light seeps through as well on these paintings. So I would like to put like lights all behind some of these paintings, that I kept the painting a little bit lighter, and work on it like at night, just having a LED. If you want to come close and take a photo, like a zoom in here. It's a lot of textures. This is canvas, but it's a lot of texture. You can see the light coming through from outside, like these little dots. You can see how porous this material is. This is cherry blossom tree. I'm thinking like we can do it like 13 feet piece, like on a big hallway, or you can put it around the corner or on the ceiling. This one. This one was chosen for going to Saudi Arabia by the princess. She liked it, but I couldn't just like let it go, travel on its on her own that much. So I kept it again like to myself. There's a very bright painting on the back. And this is like, as I said, I don't want to be like, confined in borders. So these are borders. And I just played with the border of the paintings. And it's turned into an organic raw wavy shape. And this one is a lot of gold and the golden texture. This is one of its kind. With more colorful side on the when you flip it. I don't want to say back and front because whatever you put is just, the back or the front. Hi. This is Miss Penny. I sign my paintings with pennies because I believe pennies are like so beautiful and it defies the financial logic, because to produce 1 penny, actually you spent in the past, depending on the material, 1.7 cents, and it was still kept. So I just loved the color and everything, and I covered this in pennies. So this is Miss Penny. I have worked with Robert Frost poems from a vintage book that I have collected in Australia years ago. And I love the book. It was gifted to me by a very close friend of mine. She's from California. We met in Australia and I moved to her country like years later. And I kept the book and it was so precious. And I started like embedding like Robert Frost poem pages from that vintage book. I believe it's at least like, 30, 40 years old. And like, some of them are embedded here. Hello, welcome to my studio, Polen Cerci studio, Studio 31 atelier, which I call it. And this is where I work. When we're talking about this whole thing, this is where, what I mean, it's on the floor. And these are the magic shoes that made this whole happen. Stan Smith by Adidas from Hamburg, Germany to Miami. And this is the hemp material. I'm working on this like for this piece for 12 to 13 feet, I think. This is, or maybe 11. It's kind of like a square. The other side is finished. It's got a yin and yang sign on the other side. And this is the material that, if you want to see the raw material that I was talking about, the jute, this is jute. So you see like how porous it is and how interwoven it is, like it's like really tight. And this is how soft it is. Then it turns into that, really strong material I showed you, which is that maybe this one, you can see that soft material turns into this. And this is another double-sided painting with a poem here as well. And this is another, jute piece that you can see that I finished. It's a little bit of the tree concept again. But this is like what everything really here. So this is like, the lady here, it's kind of like me. This is like one of my painting outfits. And this, I put this one in while I'm working on it, and these are gonna become together. I can maybe show you, or maybe tomorrow. Like these are gonna come together, like the Mr. and Mrs. They'll be like all together tomorrow when I finish. This is a new little painting with cracks. This is a wooden piece that I'm working on. This is how I do sometimes. I want to show you. You show. This is how it comes alive, but it's very hard to scrape it off. No one knows this side, but when you turn it on, this is what happens with the paint. So it's a lot of work, and therefore I need a lot of massages most of the time. Well, come here.
You're
Thank you,
amazing. Thank you
Dietmar.
for hosting us.